Welcome to Spirits Podcast, episode 36, Your Urban Legends with Eric Schneider.
Guys, I'm so excited about this. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys sent in some real good stuff. So a few months ago, we asked you to send in your urban legends and hometown folklore, and y'all showed up.
You showed up.
We got dozens of emails with great stories, so many that we had to share some of our favorites.
Yeah. We decided that we had to share the fun, so we invited editor Eric to read some with us. And as always happens when Eric is on the show, we got super silly. So buckle up because you might hear your hometown story read to you by our very sultry voices. But first,
they're super sultry.
Housekeeping.
Recommendation corner first, Amanda?
Yes.
Okay, so what have you been listening to / watching / reading this week?
So I've been reading Tana French Mysteries. She is like an Irish mystery novelist. I just today came back from vacation, which is great to see you, Julia, but very sad to be back from vacation. It was very relaxing. And there's nothing I love more than sitting by a pool reading a thriller or a mystery novel. And Tana is my favorite. She is, like I said, Irish. There's lots of like great Irish slang. It's called the Dublin Murder Squad, the series that I love. So it's just like lady detectives often in Ireland solving very, very good mysteries. It's great writing. It's sometimes occult AF. Y'all would love it.
Nice. That sounds amazing. And I am the most jealous that you got to spend all that time on vacation by the pool reading mystery novels.
Sorry.
I'm the most jealous person. Yeah, I understand. It's fine.
But what have you been reading or listening to?
So this week I want to recommend a new audio drama, which is produced by our good friend Misha Stanton of Ars Paradoxica and Bright Sessions fame.
Hey.
It is amazing. It is called The Far Meridian, and it is about a lighthouse keeper who wakes up each morning to find that her lighthouse has been transported somewhere new.
It's such a good concept. I'm so jealous.
It's so cool. The first 2 episodes are actually out right now, and they are like audio paintings. They're gorgeous.
I would expect nothing less of Misha. And speaking of gorgeous, let's take some time to thank our wonderful patrons. Welcome to the newest members of our patron squad, Marie, Phoebe, Emily, and Stephanie.
And thank you to Ryan and Mary who upgraded their pledges. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, and as always, to our supporting producer-level patrons, Leanne, Shannon, Phil, Catherine, Christina, MCF, Megan, Sarah, Katie, Derek, and Deborah.
You creepy yet wonderful fodder for urban legends.
All right, let's finish things up. We had so much fun with this episode, and we want to hear more of your stories. They are so addictive. Every time an email comes in, I text Julia like, oh my god, a new one came in. Let's read it together.
They're really, really good.
So please send us more at spiritspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email, or you can submit one on our website, spiritspodcast.com, or finally message us anytime, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We are at Spirits Podcast.
Or you can just chat with us on Twitter or Facebook, or you can hang out with us on Instagram at Spirits Podcast too. Sometimes we hang out in live sessions. Sometimes we just post photos of the drinks that we're drinking that night. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a new live stream soon, and $10 and $15 patrons can look out for an email shortly about this month's live stream.
Hell yeah, they can. Quick, Amanda, what did we drink this week?
It was dealer's choice, so you had a gin and tonic, I had a homemade Manhattan, because, you know, sometimes you gotta treat yourself, and Eric was also sipping on some whiskey.
You nailed it. Got it in one.
All right, listeners, without further ado, enjoy Spirits Podcast episode 36, Your Urban Legends with Eric Schneider. It's a Spirits Team special. Hey.
Did you want us to join in with you on that one? Because it seemed like you did, but I didn't know what you were going to say.
No, because only one of you can look at me right now.
Okay.
And B, I am just very animated. I'm really tired. And
You're like hype right now.
I spent a lot of time in the Apple store today. So.
God, I'm sorry.
It's okay. What's up, Eric?
Hello, I'm here again. Third time champ.
Third time champ. I mean, you're part of the team, my dude. It's not
I am on more episodes than any other guest.
That's true.
You can brag about that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it is. It's funny that, you know, you are part of the team, and like when we sign emails and Patreon stuff, like the Spirits team, I mean, it means the 3 of us, but, you know, you're just our silent partner, like enabling all of the audio stuff.
You're our Alfred Pennyworth
until the
to
best
our
episodes
Batman
show
and Robin.
up with me in them. And then I'm no
That's
longer
true.
the silent partner.
Yeah.
My episodes aren't the best.
I appreciate when you're not silent. Shh, yes, they are. It's okay.
Taily Poe remains my favorite.
Taily Poe is the
Taily Poe's
most
still a good
convoluted
episode.
episode we've ever done.
It really is.
Well, we have we have lots of things to share with you today. Emails from the audience, from you,
Yes,
from
we get to
listeners.
hear your urban legends this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I am really, really pumped about it, including one that's vaguely Taily Bones-esque.
Yes.
So we've, or Taily Poe-esque.
There you go.
You gave it away.
Shit. Sorry. Okay. Julia, you seem really excited about yours. Do you want to start?
Yeah, okay. So my email is from a lady named Carrie. Thanks for taking the time to hear my hometown's mythical nonsense, LOL. I have this story for you, and I'd love for you to talk about it on an episode if you can. I'd love to hear what y'all think, especially while drinking. Good news, we are drinking.
Good news, Kelly. Carrie. What's her name?
Carrie.
Carrie.
Good. Please remember our people's names.
I am literally drinking right now.
I know. Okay, so to jump in and give a little background, I grew up in south side of San Antonio, Texas. My father owns land and currently lives off a well-known street called Applewhite Road. It is really on the outskirts of San Antonio, but everyone who has grown up here knows the history of San Antonio. Before Applewhite Road expanded and the Toyota plant was placed there,
I just pictured a gigantic fig tree with little Toyotas on it. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it really sprung to mind. The Toyota plant.
oh god, all right.
Oh god.
So the Toyota plant was Eric just got it there, okay?
It took me a minute. You had to re-say Toyota plant. And then I put it together, and it's pretty good.
It's funny because I did no work in that joke. Like I just misheard something and a dumb image came to mind, and yet I appreciate that you appreciated it.
Guys, there were like 4 more paragraphs. Let me get through this.
Okay.
So the Toyota plant was placed there and brought lots of job opportunities. He's so much right now.
I'm intrigued. This goof has become part of it.
I'm so sorry.
So the area used to be just a 1-lane road from San Antonio to Hill Country. Later, when it started to populate in the mid-1990s, the street expanded into a 2-lane street and was still surrounded by a line of trees. I hate both of you so fucking much right now.
I'm so sorry, Carrie. This is a good bit.
Carrie, your email is so good.
It's so good and so detailed.
Something about Eric being on the show with us just makes me the dumbest that I'm possibly be.
Okay,
That's
guys,
my
there
goal.
were no lampposts, and at night it was completely pitch black. I remember as a child, my father would avoid the street after dark. My mother, on the other hand, would purposely drive down the street at night to get a fright out of us, which usually happened.
Sounds like a good mom.
Everyone used to call this 1-lane bridge the Donkey Lady Bridge. It has been closed off for several years. They built a bigger, better bridge on the other side. The story has different variations of what happened, but this is what I have always been told. Somewhere between the 1930s and 1950s, there was a girl who was born deformed with donkey legs.
Huh.
No, like you guys laughed for 20 goddamn minutes about a Toyota tree or a Toyota plant, but you can't be weirded out by donkey legs. Come on.
I can kind of imagine that. That's like a thought. A tree with a bunch of Priuses on it
suck.
is a whole new image.
I'm so done with you all.
No, I mean, that would be horrifying to see in real life. Undeniably horrifying to see in real life. I just feel like mythologically I've seen something like that. I know how to process that image.
Okay.
Yeah, or like Mr. Tumnus, like, goat legs,
Okay.
but goat person bottom half is a little bit different anyway. But we all know that I am horrified by parts being where parts shouldn't be.
Yes. Okay. So this meaning she had the exact legs of a donkey with hooves, hair, and all. She used to wear long dresses to cover them to ensure that no one would find out.
Yeah, good plan.
Her mother and father neglected her because they were ashamed, of course. Well, not of course. I'm sorry. I don't mean of course.
No, but like they were shitty. They were shitty.
Yeah.
Like of course.
Like any good myth, the parents are usually shitty in the myth.
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Whether she was abandoned, I'm not sure. During school, she was bullied for her shyness, and kids soon found out she was born with donkey legs when pushing her to the ground and her dress coming up.
Oh.
The kids ran amok, telling all their parents, and the gossip of her deformity traveled throughout the community. This little girl eventually grew up and had her own family. Back then, deformity was not easily accepted, and so years later, the people of the community went over to the lady's house and burned it to the ground, with her and her 2 children inside. They say that she never forgave the community for what they did and how they treated her all of those awful years. So they say that she haunts the actual road and bridge of Applewhite. In other versions of the story, she was a normal woman and had 2 children. She was disfigured in the house fire, and her children died in that fire. Oh. So she haunts the area looking for their souls. It is said that this bridge and down the road of Applewhite Road, you can hear her chasing you and running after your car while driving. That's horrifying. You can hear hooves and donkey noises or hoofing like a horse does. You can hear it keeping up with the side of your car while driving. She waits under the bridge and tries to scare off anyone who enters her territory. Very territorial donkeys.
All right.
Some people have also...
Are they Julia?
I don't know. I'm just going to say that.
I'm pretty sure donkeys just like hang out in the barnyard, like sad that they aren't horses.
But like if they had children, you know, like all mama animals are protective of their babies.
All right. I normally just see donkeys alone, like in the corner of the petting zoo.
Whatever. Some people have also seen red eyes and a figure of her themselves, a normal-looking woman with the legs of a donkey. Also, people have seen her deformed and disfigured from the said fire. I never understood why that particular road until 5 years ago. The city of San Antonio had built a travel park with trails in the back roads near Medina Lake. You could either mountain bike through the trails or they have walking/hiking trails. Applewhite Road crosses over that river at one point, and you can see it on a map or if you Google it, the Donkey Lady Bridge. My sister and I went hiking through there when it first opened, and we noticed about 15 to 20 minutes of walking on one trail that there was an old abandoned house that looked burnt. No! Why would you go there?
Oh, no. Now it's real.
It was more like a shell. There were also several fireplaces just out by themselves, like as if a house had once sit around them each. It was really creepy. I think maybe if it's a true story, that could be the place. I'm not sure. But that is what I do know about the story, or at least one version of it. Hope you all enjoyed the story. We did. It was terrifying.
We did.
There are more stories that are interesting around San Antonio. I thought this one was the most widely known in our area. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's adorable.
That's such a specific, you know.
Adorable? Hold on, let's back up to Julia saying that was adorable.
No, like her email was adorable. The information was terrifying.
I was gonna say, it's like a uniquely horrifying image. And like, you know, like, I don't want to be like body shaming of people, you know, in any way.
With donkey legs?
I don't think we have to be too concerned with any listeners with literal
I don't think anyone's
legs.
Gonna be like, how dare you talk about that? I've had donkey legs my entire life.
So, Carrie, thank you so much for sending that in.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Speaking of like weird sounds, this is a legitimate thing that happened to me like 2 hours ago. I was at work and I was using our... This is on the man on the street urban legend. I was throwing stuff into our dumpster at work, and it like compacts it and stuff because we're clearing out a room. And I swear to God, I heard a voice go like, "Hey there," from inside the trash compactor. And
cool.
I'm sure it was a box, like, just expanding weird and, like, scratching up against itself. But I literally was just like, "Hello?" And then I just closed the door real quick. I was like,
it's the ghost of Han Solo who got stuck in that trash compactor.
I'm like, there's no way that, like, a person could be in there at all. There's just not a possibility for it. So I know that's not possible. I was like, I'm just gonna go now. I'm all alone in this building. See ya.
Wow. I'll often imagine possible scary things. I'm like, wow, what if like in those bushes over there as I'm walking to the subway late at night had like eyes in them, and like I imagine them so vividly. Julie's giving me really judgmental.
What's wrong with your brain?
What's wrong with your
brain?
I'm with Amanda on this. Sometimes I will think, I mean, this is a classic Glass Shark situation, in which you convince yourself that a terrifying thing is there. A shark in the swimming pool, the girl from The Ring next to your bed, eyes in a bush. I completely understand this situation.
Do you guys just want to make your lives more horrifying? Like, my life is scary enough without me imagining like shit jumping out the bushes.
I don't know. It just the thought comes to me. I read too much fantasy, sci-fi, and horror as a kid, I guess.
Oh my god, you guys are weirdos.
I don't know.
All right, Eric, do you want to read yours now?
I would love to read mine. Alrighty, I am going to read mine now. I'm a very bad public reader, but through the magic of editing, you'll never know.
That's okay. You heard mine.
Through the magic of editing, you didn't notice that one either.
Yeah, Eric, you're truly the Batman of podcasting, where the better is that the right, like the better you do your job, the less people notice it.
No, Batman.
That's not what
you
Batman's
always
about.
see Batman doing
But
shit.
isn't Batman just like silently waiting for a chance to like do
He
good
should
work?
be.
Yeah, that's
but
why
he's
he
not
dresses
good
up as
at
a
it.
bat.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah, but then
true.
he like drives like he drives like the Batmobile, which is like a big machine and like blows stuff
No,
up. and-
Eric, that's what I'm saying. He has no chill. Batman has no chill.
Batman has
He's
no
like,
chill.
he's very like, I'll hide in the shadows until I beat all of you, like these 20 men down. And then strap them up into lights and so the bat signal forms. Like,
I'm like
nah,
the
he has
Spider-Man
no chill.
of podcasting because Spider-Man's
Okay.
really cool.
Or like the Devil of Hell's
Okay.
Kitchen, just like hanging out at the
There's
top
not
of the
an
building,
analogy
looking.
there. It's
I'm
I
sorry,
just
Eric,
like
that's the
Spider-Man.
most like white geek choice you could have possibly
I
made.
know, but you know
Okay.
what? But you know what? He does all that web slinging and it's real fun.
Sure,
It's
okay.
a lot of fun. All right, the next story comes to us from Ashton, and it is titled Bloody Bones, aka How My Hillbilly Grandfather Entertained Himself by Terrifying Small Children. I haven't read
The
any
best
of
email
these yet.
title.
Julie and Amanda
Whoa.
sifted through these. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
I,
about
like,
to
I-
happen at
I
all.
didn't read a lot of them. Like, I read maybe the first couple of sentences of each of them just so we could get a feel of who should read them and whatnot. And Eric, this one kind of stood out for me for you, so go ahead.
I
Yeah,
don't know
we
what
just
that's
saw the
about to
title.
say
And we were
about
like,
me,
well,
but here we go. Alrighty. My grandparents lived in a tiny town outside Ashland, Kentucky, literally in the middle of the woods. Ashton also writes, read this in my most Appalachian accent that I can manage, but I am definitely not even going to try to butcher an accent
We
like
do not
that.
blame you. It's okay.
At night, we would hear where the crickets and the running water of the creek, more commonly known as a creek, I would call it a creek as well. So
I would call it a
I
creek
get
because you're
that.
a weirdo.
because we're
No,
Yankees.
it's a creek. So the running water of the creek that cut through their backyard. When we were about 8 years old, my grandfather told my cousin and I the story of Bloody Bones. In the trees lives Bloody Bones. He wanders from hill to hill, looking for small children that stay out past sundown. He likes to stay close to the water, rivers, lakes, ponds, puddles, and creeks. You don't hear him coming. You won't see him running because he stays in the trees or the water until he jumps on land on top of you to eat the flesh off your bones alive.
Ugh.
So, not great so far. It's a very fast, scary thing.
Silent.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a bloody skeleton, but I don't think that works if it is swimming in water. Like, the
He
blood
also
would
lives-
wash away.
But he also lives in the trees.
I'm all about that, though.
So he's all
Yeah,
over
I
the
was
place.
picturing a like hyena type thing, like lost continent Australian type shit.
But don't go looking for him either. During the day, he likes to keep hidden. If he sees you, he'll sit and wait. Keep your eyes off the tree line because if he's spotted, he attacks. But at night, nothing can keep you from the clutches of Bloody Bones. If he sees you, you're done for. Only a few have been able to escape him. I saw him once. He looks like a man, but he's not. He's about 8 foot tall and 3 foot wide.
That's really specific
It
dimensions.
sounds like a refrigerator.
Yeah, he's a real refrigerator man.
Just like the refrigerator that got dropped on Randy Orton during the House of Horrors match.
Yes.
That was a
good-
joke
good-
specifically just for Eric.
That's a joke just for the wrestling fans out there.
There we go.
Hey.
He's bright red because he's got no skin. His
Oh!
body... Oh, no, it gets worse. It's about to get worse. His body is made up of the children he eats. The more kids he eats, the larger he gets. He's got a big mouth with long teeth as sharp as razor blades. His fingers are long, and he's got claws for fingernails. You better be careful. I saw something rustling in the trees earlier. Bloody Bones is nearby.
This is sounding more and more like a refrigerator as we go.
I'm so terrified by this.
Like a repository of flesh, big gaping mouth, aka the door, and maybe there's just like a knife rack on the side.
I can't.
Yeah, so I think that's the whole thing, because here's the rest of what Ashton wrote. He said, not only was this story terrifying because there's a large naked skinless man on the loose
I mean,
that's going to
clearly.
eat us, but my great-grandmother lived in a trailer behind my grandparents' house.
Great.
And in order to get there, we had to cross the creek via a small bridge my grandfather made. Also, the little dirt path. Oh, what were you going to say?
Don't do that. Don't cross the creek. Don't
Well,
do
I think
it.
they have to get there.
But crossing running water is just not a good idea. Not a
Don't
good
do
idea.
it at night.
That's a good point. The little dirt path they would cross was lined with trees. We'd always run home before the sun went down to avoid bloody bones.
Oh, thank God.
However, one night when we were about 8 years old, we lost track of time and had to walk back to my grandparents' house in the dark. My cousin and I held each other close and ran, keeping our eyes on the ground with nothing but our flashlights for light. We were about 150 feet away from my grandparents' house when we hear something drop out of the trees yelling. I don't know what's about to happen. We both dropped to the ground screaming and crying. As we awaited our imminent deaths by being eaten by bloody bones, we heard laughter and a light shine at us. It was my grandfather who had climbed the tree earlier, waited for us, and then jumped down to scare us for his own amusement.
Your grandfather's
This wasn't
the
the
fucking
only
worst.
time he had done this. He thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Wow, Grandpa committed to the bit. He climbed a
Oh
Yeah.
my
tree.
fucking God. Your
Oh,
grandfather
gosh.
sounds like the best/worst.
Yeah. Also, if you want to learn more about bloody bones, there is a Wikipedia entrance.
We will link in
that
the
you can
show
all check.
notes. Hell yeah.
Awesome, Ashton. That was
Ooh.
so good. Total
Gosh.
first person. We love it.
It's so
I
And, like-
had no idea where that was going the whole time, and it just got worse and worse.
And like a really effective deterrent against staying out after curfew.
Yeah, you fucking deserve it if you stay out after curfew. No, I'm kidding. That's
8
we
feet
don't
by
victim blame
3.
bloody bones victims.
Listen, man, if he sees you, that's it. You're done. You're done for.
That-
This
that
reminds
is
me
it.
of have you guys seen the show Attack on Titan?
No.
The
Yes.
villains in that basically are just like skinless giants.
Terrifying.
And
Great.
They're
that's-
they're very terrifying.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yep.
And so now I'm going to bring you a slightly less scary myth, but one with a lot cooler kind of potential historically. So this is from friend of the show, our first patron ever, Catherine Addington.
God bless
Girl,
you.
You're
we
telling
love
me
you.
that the last two don't have important historical importance
No,
to
they
the
do.
world at large?
They for sure do.
I mean, if we had a collective flash forward to the car growing plants of the future.
Shut up.
Listen, I'm not going to stand in the way.
You should contact Rose Eveleth about that potential future.
Fuck yes. So Catherine writes, one summer in high school, I worked at Gatsby's Tavern Museum. That's with a D, so Gadsby, Gadsby.
Not the novel.
Not
the great one.
Thank you guys. I'm glad you both made the same joke that I clearly missed.
Hey, audio high five. AKA a bar in Alexandria, Virginia that George Washington used to have his birthday parties at. I wish I could have attended one of those. Like most colonial taverns, it had a bar or refectory, a ballroom, and a few rooms available for lodging. One of these is known as Room 8, a small, blue-walled room with the window facing what is now City Hall, as well as the local market, which has been there since 1749. Alexandria, old as fuck. That was me, editorializing here. So nowadays it's all flowers and artisanal breads and fresh produce, but in colonial times it mainly sold slaves and livestock. There's a candle in the window that helps block the view. From time to time, a ghost appears in this window. She wears a long black veil.
They always do. They always fucking do.
Sometimes it's a white veil.
There's always veils. There's always long flowing dresses.
I feel like the sort of Bertha Mason and company are like long white dresses, but like the head is like.
I'm just saying, like, you know, the corporeal forms of spirits are never like in jeans and a t-shirt.
Right, monochromatic.
This is a problem I also have with ghosts. They're always old-timey people.
I want some new timey
Like,
people, goddammit.
I don't understand why it's always like you never see a ghost post the Civil War. And I'm 100% sure people died past that.
You know what my issue with ghosts is too, now that we're on a rant about ghosts?
I really do want to know.
So ghosts are supposed to be all ego, right?
Are they?
Yes, a ghost is just the ego of a person when they die that's left over.
So like the part of them that wants something type thing? Okay.
Like just the whole
Like
lack
Slimer
of
from
impulse control.
Ghostbusters, all Slimer wants is pizza.
Yes.
Because the guy that used to be Slimer presumably just wanted pizza.
What?
Amanda goes, excuse me?
Okay. Moving on.
Amanda doesn't know the story and mythology behind Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Slimer's more Ghostbusters too, which I don't think we've watched yet as a
No, we
audio
haven't.
extra.
It's okay. So my problem with ghosts is they're supposed to be all ego. And then we have this fucking like bullshit baby boomer thing like, oh, well, you know, millennials are so conceited, blah, blah, blah. They're all ego. Are we going to just be the generation of ghosts?
Oh, so like post-Civil War, all ghosts are now millennials?
Yes.
And
So
we're
you're
just
saying
like
you're
checking
saying
out
they
the
just
dank memes and like figuring out, you know, what we're missing.
Our ghosts are going to be like internet ghosts that like come up through your computer and post dank
that's
memes
it.
from 20 years ago.
No, that's it. Is that our ego, like the thing that we need the most is not to miss out and to know what's happening, like what's the latest thing. So we are just like the ghost of like the end of the Tumblr dashboard as it loads to look at the next
That's
thing.
horrifying.
I know.
I love
Only
it.
like we just like we're here for the unending stream of content of hashtag content on the internet.
Oh, God.
So,
Guys-
so are you essentially saying that there haven't been any new ghosts because no one's been egocentric enough for the past 100 and some
I'm
years?
saying that is bullshit because if that's true, our generation is just gonna be like the generation of ghosts.
But
We're gonna
what
have
if
so
that-
many
but-
ghosts.
But what if that is the case?
That would
we
be
haven't started to
amazing.
die off yet. What if we just like inhabit the earth as spirits forever as millennial ghosts?
It's gonna be like Civil War ghosts,
Yeah.
millennial ghosts.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be the way
Because
it
like
goes.
greatest generation, silent generation, boomers, they don't have fucking time to be a ghost. Like they're like here on Earth and have hard won, you know, like lives, and then it ends, and they're like, okay, great,
And then
thank,
they're mad
thank
at
God
us.
it's over.
We should get back to the story.
Yes, we should.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
true. That's true.
Amanda put down her phone and let it go to sleep. That's how long we talked
Oh,
about
no.
ghosts.
Anyway, this ghost is the female stranger, which is the cryptic name by which her famous grave identifies her.
I was gonna say that's a really lazy name, but since it's the name on the grave, it's
It was
way
also
better.
1780s,
Cool.
I think. So, you know,
Female stranger.
they were a little bit, you know, less inventive in their lore. So they say she died in this very room 8, at the age of 23. The story goes that the female stranger arrived in Alexandria by ship in the throes of illness. Her male companion, what?
Sorry, pause. They know how old she is, but they don't know her name. She's just the female
Wait for it,
stranger.
Julia.
Okay,
Wait for it.
I'm sorry.
Also, this is olden times. That makes a lot of sense.
Where like they would write down baptismal records, but it's just like spawn of like J. dot whatever. Like the person's name doesn't matter,
That's
but
some bullshit right
I
there.
know. Okay, just wait for it though. So she arrived in Alexandria by ship in the throes of illness. Her male companion rented room 8 and hired a doctor to care for her. The couple refused to reveal their identities to the doctor or to the local woman who tended to the stranger, like her nursemaid, I guess, and swore them all to secrecy regarding their presence. Word spread anyway, of course. They were mysterious foreigners at the city's most frequented establishment.
That's some secret royalty right there. If I've ever heard a story
That's
before.
what I was gonna say. It's the queen.
Secret queen.
Any other suggestions?
Secret queen, bastard child of the Pope.
Rumors abounded then and now. Perhaps the stranger was an English noblewoman who eloped with a British army officer.
Definitely.
And she fell ill on the way. Perhaps she was Theodosia Burr Alston, daughter of Aaron Burr.
I fucking love Theodosia. I'm so sad she died.
I know, but the actually, so she died at sea in a ship.
Yeah, also, wasn't she a little bit older than 23 when she disappeared, too?
Yes.
Okay.
However, Catherine says here that people believe that the whole story about her being lost at sea is a cover-up for having married a pirate, which is amazing.
yes.
And then Catherine
Yeah,
editorializes,
no, this is better.
it's historically impossible, but I believe it anyway. So do we. Headcanon accepted. Her illness took her fast, and when the stranger died on October 14th, 1816, the man borrowed money from local businessman Lawrence Hill to bury her. Her headstone in nearby St. Paul's Episcopal tells us, this stone is erected by her disconsolate husband, in whose arms she sighed out her last breath, and who under God did his utmost to soothe the cold, dull hour of death. It continues with a quote from Alexander Pope. How loved, how honored once avails thee not, to whom related or by whom begot, a heap of dust remains of thee, 'tis all thou art and all the proud shall be. Which is kind of like ashes to ashes. Her male companion repaid Hill, the guy he borrowed money from, and skipped town before Hill realized that the money was counterfeit.
Sweet. I was going to be like, where did he get the money from if he had to borrow
There you go. His debts were never repaid, nor the identity of the couple discovered. But there is a happy ending. Local brewery Port City made a beer in her honor called Long Black Veil. Hashtag
Dope.
spirits, hashtag out.
That's the most dope story. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Good.
I totally accept that headcanon. Theodosia would totally be the, like, badass daughter of, like, a mom who's formerly married to a British Army officer and was like, fuck this, and, like, went off and married a pirate. Fuck yes.
Also, a pirate would give him counterfeit money and then bail out of town.
Right, it's in character.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, God, that's so good.
Okay, our next story comes from Oliver, and it's titled Devil's Chair.
Yes. This is from our, it's a reference to our Ghost of Orlando episode, I believe.
Episode 14, where there was a devil's chair in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So this person writes, Hello, I just wanted to comment about episode 14 when you guys and Matt were talking about the Devil's Chair. There's one somewhere in Vermont on Mount Philo. It could be a different mountain. I used to hike up there with my grandfather when I was little. We found a trail named after it and came across a large stump shaped like a chair. We all sat on it, of course. Afterwards, the two cousins I was climbing with both tripped on a wicked high trail. What?
Like, it's, like, real high up.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
like they're on a mountain,
Yeah.
Eric. The trail's
Right.
super high up.
I got confused because it was like wicked in the non ghosty type of wicked.
I guess you can only tell tales from Greater Appalachia.
Yeah.
That's our takeaway here.
5 years in Boston, then you can know wicked is
That's
like
fair.
a fucking slang.
Afterwards, the two cousins and I were climbing and both tripped on a wicked high trail. One almost fell, but caught himself on a tree. I just thought it was pretty wicked that you guys were talking about it. After binging spirits for about 2 days, it's honestly awesome.
Oh, well,
Aw,
thank
thanks,
you,
Helena.
Oliver. That's awesome. I'm glad your cousin caught himself on a tree before he fell
That's
off that
very
ledge.
good.
That would have sucked otherwise. So this one's from Deborah, and the subject is Ouija board Michael Long Island legend, question mark?
I mean, we're clicking on that email.
She goes, hi, love the podcast. So I'm not sure if this is an actual urban legend, but it did happen to me while I was in middle school. There was
If it happened to you, it's real.
It's true. There was a group of girls that had a sleepover party. They decided to use a Ouija board, and they contacted a spirit of a boy named Michael.
Okay, pause. Have you ever done that, Julia?
I have played with a Ouija board before, yes.
Okay, Eric.
No.
I think I have maybe once.
I was a good evangelical kid, and we weren't allowed to touch the tools. We weren't allowed to touch the tools of Satan.
And now look at you. You're producing a show somewhat about the tools of Satan.
Yeah, to help people defend themselves from it. That's my main goal.
Clearly,
Yes,
that
yes,
is what our stories are about, so
True.
you can defend yourself from Satan.
Yes, good.
So they decided to use a Ouija board, and they contacted a spirit of a boy named Michael. They asked the normal questions, like, how old were you when you died? How did you die? Etc. So after the sleepover, the girls that were there were getting scratched all over their backs, which left red marks.
No.
No reason for this, so they attribute it to Michael, because I guess something must have happened during the Ouija. Don't really remember because it was a long time ago. My friend came up to me freaking out, saying she felt something on her back and asked me to look. I saw scratch marks on her back with no explanation. I was kind of freaked out. There was literally no explanation for the marks to be in the center of her back like that. Like, I guess they were just out of reach from where she could have.
And if they were all looking at each other, they couldn't have just like scratched it surreptitiously.
Like I said, not sure if the story got around or has different names, but is creepy. Deb. Thank you, Deb. I mean, I feel like we had some creepy Ouija board stories when we were kids.
I did Bloody Mary a bunch.
We did do Bloody
That was the
Mary.
go-to.
Oh no, I never did Bloody Mary.
Well, because you were a good evangelical child.
No, because I was a scared little child.
I mean, that too.
It was scary.
Ooh. I ain't gonna go into a bathroom alone and say something in the mirror. No way.
I know, like mirrors, like dramatic lighting.
I still won't go to the bathroom in the dark with the door closed.
I thought you were gonna
Like,
say
I'll-
alone, and I was like, "Whoa, that must be a hamper on your lifestyle."
I'll go like in the middle of the night. I will go and I won't turn on the light, but I couldn't close that door. If I close that door, then I'm in there with something.
You've trapped the ghosts in with you.
And yeah, like one of the great pleasures of living alone is not needing to close the door.
I'm trying to think. We definitely had a story that we would tell at sleepovers. I'm pretty sure it was like the thump thump drag story.
Oh, motherfucker!
Yeah, okay.
Oh god!
I don't remember the details of that story.
Is this different from the claw guy? Or is this a different thing?
No.
What
it
did you
like
think
a
it
creature.
was? Yeah, it was like a dude who murdered someone and then like had a weird leg maybe.
Yeah, or like would drag
or
the,
was
like,
dragging
sack
something
behind him.
Yeah, like a sack of body parts or something. I don't remember.
Of
I
murder
don't know
tools.
this one. I don't think I know that one.
Murder tools, yep. It was just full of axes and shit.
I'll do a short one from Helena. So she said that this story has been told to her by her grandmother, and it's about a strange occurrence that happened to the grandmother when she was a child.
Cool.
So first person here. So Erlicht. When my grandmother was still a child, she would accompany her father into the woods, where he would drag wood trunks out of the deep forest with his horse sleigh. My grandmother would play in the woods by herself until her father was done with his work. Awesome 19th century. Like, thanks for just having no childcare standards.
At least she wasn't doing the work herself.
That's true. Yeah. Whenever I would like be lazy at home, my dad would be like, "At your age, I was literally like
laying
carting,
bricks,
like laying bricks, like carting them from thing to thing. My dad having moved piles of bricks just to have something to do." And anyway,
That sounds right.
so her dad warned her that she shouldn't wander too far off and only go as far as she could hear the bells on the harnesses of the horses.
Terrifying already.
So good. I love a good like five senses myth. Excellent job so far. One day she was distracted by her game and wandered alone far into the forest. When she noticed that she wandered off, she strained her ears and tried to hear the ringing of the bells, but she could not hear them.
Holy shit.
My grandma was very upset.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. It is extremely scary to get lost in the dark woods, especially as a child or an adult. She looked for a way back when my grandma suddenly saw a strange glow. Her curiosity took over and she went after it.
No!
Grandma!
That's literally the opposite thing that you should do.
How did you live to be a grandma? She followed the weird light until she saw a big stone wall with an iron gate in it. The strange structure in the middle of the woods glowed like the setting sun, and even the space between the stones emitted a wonderful light. Awestruck, the grandmother passed the portal.
That's heaven.
Awestruck,
Don't go there.
my grandmother passed through the portal, and as soon as she set foot on the other side, she could hear the ringing bells again. So, like, she distance traveled or whatever.
Fucking time traveled back to the sled.
She warped.
Warped is the word.
She stargated back to the sled.
I guess the word that I meant is traveled. Like, so creepy.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So good. Thank you.
So this is from good friend of the podcast, Michael Schubert.
Shoobs.
With an email titled, "Oh my god, I love your show so much. Here's my hometown legend." All in caps, because this is Mike we're talking about here. So it starts with, "Hey guys, first off, huge fan. Absolutely love spirits, and I adored you two on Potterless."
Oh yeah, nice backdoor plug for his own podcast. There.
We plug it enough where it's okay.
We love Potterless.
Like he didn't trust us to do it, so he's like, "I will make sure it happens."
He's got it.
Also, Eric Schneider appearing in Order of the Phoenix later this year.
I'm so excited, man. I'm taking the end of that, I think, and I'm really stoked about it.
I'm pumped.
All right, so he goes, "Anyway, here's my hometown legend, the Jersey Devil," because of course he's from Jersey.
Yes.
The origin goes that the Jersey Devil was the child of a resident of the Pine Barrens, New Jersey, named Deborah Leeds. She had 12 children, and after finding out she was pregnant for the 13th time, girl, slow down, cursed the child in frustration. Horrible idea. Crying that the child would be the devil. Well, obvi, it's your 13th and you cursed it. These are all Mike's own interjections, by the way.
These are his all-caps parentheticals.
On a dark and stormy night, of course, in 1735, did New Jersey even exist? Mother Leeds gave birth, and the child was completely normal. ... At first, it turned into a creature with hooves, a goat's head, bat wings, and a forked tail, which sounds horrifying.
Some changeling shit.
But if you Google search the images of the Jersey Devil, all the drawings make it look lame AF. The devil then killed the midwife, flew up the chimney, and escaped into the nearby forest. The lore was published in a newspaper in 1856, and the first sighting of the devil was published in 1887. Other encounters include Commodore Stephen Decatur seeing it while inspecting his cannonballs, who shot it with a cannonball to no effect.
I like the idea of someone inspecting their cannonballs.
It's very...
Look, this one's heavy and round. So is this one.
It's very military. I'm about it. Joseph Bonaparte, the elder brother of Napoleon, but who's taller, also claimed to have seen it in 1820. But the big year for sightings was in 1909.
Wow, that's a long time.
From January 16th to the 23rd, hundreds of articles were published about sightings all over the state. Reportings of creature attacking a trolley car, unidentifiable footprints in the snow, killing livestock, etc. Many reports cite people or policemen shooting the devil to no effort. It's like shooting at Superman. Why do you do that? You know it's not going to work.
I don't know. What else are you going to do, though? Just look?
I mean, it's a devil. You gotta try something.
I mean, I guess. Eventually, the Philadelphia Zoo offered a $10,000 reward for its capture, which led to a bunch of fakes, like someone trying a kangaroo with artificial wings.
I mean, good try. Kangaroos look fucking devilish as shit.
Yeah, kangaroos have abs, and that's not cool.
Kangaroos should not have abs. Not visible ones, at least.
No one should. It's
creepy.
not fair.
Best part about this legend is that it led to the name of the NHL team, the New Jersey Devils. When the Colorado Rockies, yes, the same name as Colorado's now baseball team, relocated
Mike, I never would have realized that.
relocated to New Jersey, a fan poll decided that the name should be the New Jersey Devils, which is dope. So proud of my homeland. Which of your legends has a major sports team named after it, huh? Anyway, keep doing what you're doing. I love you and your show so much, and I hope every episode of Potterless from here on out has you on it. Stay creepy, stay cool. Mike Schubert, your number one fan.
We're available, Mike.
We're always available, Mike.
Thank you. Did you hear much about the Jersey Devil growing up on Long Island, which is like the other side of New York City for those who are not around?
For sure.
I never did.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a thing, but I never heard the legend recounted.
I think a really big deal, too, was that someone claimed to have a video of it maybe a couple of years ago.
Oh,
really? I remember seeing this video. It was a year or two ago.
Okay, cool.
You just see something fly by.
And it looks like a goat, a little bit.
It looks like someone essentially attached some wings to a goat and threw it in the air, because it doesn't. The wings don't flap, and it's only in shot for maybe 20 frames, and it doesn't really move. It just stays.
It just goes.
It just kind of floats through the air.
Yeah.
Aw, good try, goat.
Bad one. Okay, our last one.
Last one. So this is all the way. Speaking of kangaroos from down under. From Rowan, our good friend, Eric's my old school friend from YouTube. So he writes in, an urban legend I grew up hearing about in my hometown of Darwin, North Territory, Australia, was the Poinciana woman, which I think I'm pronouncing correctly.
He does put in a spelling thing,
he does.
Doesn't he?
Don't call me out here for getting it wrong despite the enunciation. I'm trying.
Making sure.
Poinciana. The Poinciana woman is a wraith that haunts East Point, a peninsula which is part nature reserve, part military base covered in Poinciana trees, which are covered in bright red blooms.
Those seem like two very different things, nature preserve and military base.
Well, it could be an ex-military base that's turned into a nature preserve, or
maybe.
Just happen to be both.
Okay.
I don't know. But depending on who you ask, she was raped, either by Japanese or Australian soldiers in World War II,
Yikes.
and hanged herself in the Poinciana tree when she discovered she was pregnant.
Ooh, so far not great.
Starting real bummer, Rowan. Yeah. I'm trusting you to get better, but let's see. So she appears as a beautiful young Asian woman in white robes with red Poinciana flowers in her long hair.
Cool.
Her blood-curdling screams can be heard most nights as she roams among the trees where she died.
Not great.
She stalks and lures men with her beauty before transforming into an undead hag with sharp wooden fingers she uses to rip them open.
Sharp wooden fingers I'm all about.
And feast on their guts.
Yes.
She will come to the rescue of any woman who is attacked on East Point. And will attack anyone who summons her by spinning around 3 times while saying her name.
Less good.
Teens attempt this frequently in Darwin as a rite of passage.
Damn it!
Come on, teens.
Yeah, stop it, teens.
East Point is also a popular spot for teens to go and make out in their cars.
Don't do that.
Worse, teens, come on.
The story started with rape. Please don't do that.
And there are so many better places to make out than cars. Come on. So, one story in particular is when the Poinciana woman is attacked, a couple who were getting frisky in their car. They locked the doors and sped off, but when they got home, they discovered the long gashes her wooden claws left in the car door. Love a good, like, physical evidence of a supernatural myth type thing.
Is that the end of the story?
It is.
I'm going to tell a story of when Jake and I ran into a ghost once.
Oh, I remember the story.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Go.
I don't know this story.
Yeah, okay, buckle in, Eric. So Amanda and I did theater in high school. When we did Hell Week, which is the week leading up to a show, we would stay pretty late. Like, you could stay at the school until, like, midnight.
Yeah.
It's midnight, so it's not like I can bring Jake back to my place to, you know, hang out with him. So we went around the corner to, like, you know, make out a little bit in the back of seat of his car. And it's kind of like a weird foggy night.
And you're like on a suburban street?
We're
or
in a suburban street.
School? Okay.
Kind of, there's a dead end on one side, and then it's a regular street, and we're kind of parked on the corner. And so we're making out in the back. I see kind of a shadow go by because we're down the street from a lamppost, so I can kind of see. And so I see a shadow go by. I kind of ignore it, don't really say anything, and then I see another shadow go by, and I'm just like, Jake, 1 second, hold on. So I sit up and I look out the front of the car through the windshield, and there is a dude with a dog, a big dog, looks like a German Shepherd or something.
Okay.
Standing in the middle of the street directly under the spotlight.
So like several cars away from you, like car lengths away?
Yeah, he's maybe
Not like right outside the car looking
like
in.
25 yards away
okay.
from us.
All right.
And I hit Jake. I'm like, we need to leave. And so this dude, this figure who's just a shadowy, tall figure with a big dog next to him, stares us down as Jake gets into the front seat, puts the car in reverse, and just backs us off the street and down the other side.
Wow.
And that's how I almost got murdered / haunted.
Did Jake have to get out of the car to get to the front seat?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
we just crawled through the front.
Oh,
That would have been terrible.
poor thing.
Anyway, so that's my urban legend story.
That's
Wow.
so good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one, I think.
And several of you also sent us like links to various things that are from your hometowns.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to include those in the description for folks to check out. We love hearing these. We may do another one of these episodes in the future, but in the meantime, we eat the shit up. So like, please
Send us the stories.
creepy stuff, or if your grandparents have stories, that they tell you all the time. It's always fun to hear someone else's grandparent story because it doesn't take as long as your actual grandparents.
Yeah, like how your grandma stargated through a woods or almost pretended to murder you. Whatever works.
Yeah, just
That
grandpas
one's
jumping down from trees
crazy.
to scare kids.
Like, there was a whole structure and stuff, and then she, like, warped around.
I know, and it reminds us of our D&D campaign where we have
does.
recently seen a big castle appearing in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
It was great.
Shit.
Ugh, so good.
You guys rock.
We love you.
You guys are so creepy. We love it.
So thanks again, y'all. And remember,
Stay creepy.
stay cool.
Stay safe.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Mom.
Spirits was created by Julia Shafini and me, Amanda McLaughlin. It's edited by Eric Schneider with music by Kevin MacLeod and visual design by Allison Wakeman.
Subscribe to Spirits on your preferred podcast app to make sure you never miss an episode. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr at Spirits Podcast.
On our Patreon page, patreon.com/spiritspodcast, you can sign up for exclusive content like behind-the-scenes photos, audio extras, director's commentary, blooper reels, and beautiful recipe cards with custom drink and snack pairings.
If you like the show, please share with your friends and leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help.
Thank you so much for listening. Till next time.